You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
What's up, Penguin Nation? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I'm your host, J-Rod, and this is the first episode of Penguin Central. I decided to take the plunge, guys. I decided to add on the Penguins. And Mark was very much on board with that. He loves all Pittsburgh stuff, so he's like, do the Penguins, man. I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. I'm currently doing 6 episodes a week now. 2 live for the Steelers on Sundays, 3 for all Pittsburgh sports on Mondays, and I pick my games for the Steelers, now Penguins, on Tuesdays. But guys, this is the first episode of it. I will get right into the introductions. My history with the Pittsburgh Penguins is a recent one. It was just 16 years ago when I went over to my buddy's house, and we were going to watch some stuff. And he said, oh, I forgot we have to actually switch things over. You don't mind if we watch the Penguins, do you? I'm like, oh, hockey. Yeah, sure. I mean, I never really got into hockey growing up. I was primarily baseball and football. I knew of the Penguins, but I knew of Mario Lemieux. I was alive during the early 90s. A lot of my family was into Pittsburgh sports, and they were always talking about the hockey. I grew up watching the Mighty Ducks, as many people did my generation. So it was like, yes, I was exposed to hockey, and I love hockey because of that movie franchise. But yeah, so that night he was like, let's watch the Penguins. And he said, you got to watch these guys, dude. They're absolutely spectacular. These guys like, Tyler Kennedy and Marc-Andre Fleury, the goalie, he's just absolutely incredible. And then they brought up, of course, the 3 horsemen, or 3-headed monster, with Letang and Malkin and Crosby. I looked it up, and Sidney Crosby and I, we were almost exactly the same day born. Like, he was August 7th of 87. I was August 8th of 87. So I was like, man, we were so close to being birthday brothers. But yeah, I would like to say that's a really cool connection almost to that. But yeah, I watched those guys play, and it was crazy. Knowing that 2009 season was their playoff push. Like, I think they were about, I think it was around March of 2009 that I started watching. He's like, they're getting close to making the playoffs and everything. I'm like, well, that's cool. Let's start watching. And guys, I got hooked ever since. I'm very grateful to know that I've watched every season ever since, even the bad ones, these last few ones, ever since they won their Stanley Cup in 2017. Yes, watching the 2009 Stanley Cups. My brother was also into that year too. So, I mean, it wasn't just my friend, but also my brother. So it was back and forth, between his house and my friend's house. We were always going to bars and watching the games. And Game 7 was just the most intense, crazy thing I've ever witnessed in my life, with the Detroit Red Wings just going all completely crazy on these guys. And they were shooting the puck left and right at Fleury and just never going in. I mean, it was like almost a straight minute of watching them just throw shots. And I remember the last second, the guy literally body dived in front of the thing to stop it, and it happened, and we won. And Sidney Crosby, just 22 years old, becomes, Stanley Cup champion. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are now kind of the team to be reckoned with in the 2000s. And ever since then, what was it, up until the 2017-2018 year when they won their last playoff, or when their last Stanley Cup, they have just been the premier team. They've always been a thorn in Alex Ovechkin's side with the Capitals, and the Rangers tried to always be relevant. The Bruins were always a fantastic team, but the Penguins, they were always a team to be reckoned with as well. Yeah, it was such a thrill to be a part of that year and that run. And yeah, I've just been a part of it ever since. I very much love hockey. I know the positions. It's not that difficult. There's the center, there's the left wing, there's the right wing, and there's the defensive left and right side, and the goalie. Like that, if you can't figure that much out, I mean, you can't watch the sport. So, but what really comes from it? I mean, what makes it hockey so, difficult, where I've witnessed many great skill sets, again, watching these guys play. And I'm very happy to know that this was my team, knowing these guys had their skill sets. Like Letang in his good years was one of the best defensive players. Like he was always everywhere, always getting that puck, stealing. Like he was really great at that. And when it came to faceoffs, no one was better than Crosby. Like, and no one was better than Malkin. Like, and it's so funny. Like I have the Crosby jersey, but I think my favorite player was Malkin. I'll be honest. Of the three guys, I love Sidney Crosby. I mean, he's always going to be the leader of the Penguins. He'll be the face of the generation for them. But Malkin was just fun. He was such a crazy skater. Like I've never seen a dude that size look as fast and agile. He just barrels through everyone. Like it's just not even a contest when you watch how that guy plays the sport. He's just absolutely incredible. I used to call him the mad Russian, just because he would always just barrel through everybody and not make it look like it was even a contest. Like, get out of my way, I'm coming, I'm going to score this goal, you don't have a say. And that's just how he was. He was just so fast and furious through the rink and right down the middle. He had no fear whatsoever. He just went right at him and shot the goal. He was awesome. And of course, Sidney Crosby. One thing I'm always going to associate Sidney Crosby with, not just the fact that he's like the magician at skating. He is one of the trickiest dudes I've ever seen on skates, but he is like the assist king. If he is not, in this generation at least, one of the greatest assists guys in the history of the NHL, I don't think anyone can read a rink better than Sidney Crosby when there is the five guys on their side and the five guys on his side. Like the 9 other people that are skating around with him, like I don't think there's ever a person that I've ever seen just know how to navigate every single situation where anybody could be playing better than him. Like he somehow has the whole rink mapped out in the back of his head. He can see through the back and he can know exactly when to get it to whoever and score a goal. Like he is always on the assist with a goal at some point. If he's on the rink, he's getting the assist. Like it's just crazy. And again, with his masterful skates and his masterful trickeries, he's just one of the best to do it. And I know that everyone will say that Alex Ovechkin is going to be the greatest from this generation. And yes, I understand he is 2-3 years older than Crosby, so he has the cachet with his years. He has done so much. And again, I won't dispute that Alex Ovechkin will always be in the conversation with Sidney of who was the greatest from this generation. I get it. But naturally, I'm going to go with this guy. I know that he had a lot of injuries throughout his career, and I know he missed at least a season and a half, 2 seasons full of injuries. So you imagine if the dude was never hurt, what Sidney could have accomplished, and be there with Ovechkin to completely have all the numbers. It's definitely an interesting conversation. But with all this introduction, guys, let's just get into what is going to be the drop, the puck drop for the first conversation, which is we have a brand new coach. Let's see here. Yes, hold on one sec, guys. To stop everything, got to get this page up here. This new Penguin coach we have, this Dan Muse guy who just replaced Bear Sullivan. Yeah, Sullivan's now with the Rangers. They just beat them just a couple of nights ago. I think they play tonight or they play tomorrow. I gotta get caught up a little bit. No, they play tomorrow night in Anaheim. Yeah, they're going to be on the West Coast. So, yeah, tomorrow, 10:30. Yeah, they don't play tonight. Yeah, so, I mean, they're 2-1 so far to start the season. What an opening that was. That was absolutely incredible. To know that Dan Muse took that team into the Rangers against Sullivan and shut them out. I mean, watching guys that do what they do all the time. I mean, what was the whole breakdown of the game? Just want to get everything right. I know it was 3-0. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was at work. Yeah, it shows you had 1 goal in the first period, 2 in the third, making it 3-0, but they don't go into detail. But yeah, the young kid, Silvos, the goalie, I mean, to shut out the Rangers in their place, I mean, that's absolutely one of the best things you could ask for. Knowing that we had a young goalie, and this whole couple of years, with the Jari and was it the Smith? I think that was his last name. I don't want to say it wrong, but there was a lot of problems ever since Fleury, of course, left, and Jari was, and then Murray, he was so good at one point, and he was looking like he was going to be the great answer to that question, but that happens sometimes where some guys have flashes and then it kind of fizzles. And now we've got this Silvos kid. I mean, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I feel so bad if I am pronouncing his name wrong. But yeah, it's a fantastic story to see that he went into his first professional game with the Penguins and shut them all out. That's fantastic to see that result. And then we had the Murray game, the Jari game, sorry. Tristan Jari started in the next game with the Islanders. And what a back-and-forth game that was. That really showed a lot of grit. And I love a scrappy game. I like when these guys go back and forth. That's just what hockey is. Like, I always thought of hockey as soccer it's faster. Like, I watch how the camera moves with soccer and hockey. It's almost identical, but because the puck is on ice, it goes much faster, and I much love that action. So seeing them do what they did, and of course, guys like Malkin and Crosby having the history they have and the years, of course, the big story of this season was knowing that Letang, Fleury, Letang, Malkin, and Crosby, sorry, not Fleury, were going to be together again for 20 years. Like, that'll never be matched. That's just a generation where it's like, and you look at how they look. I said to someone, I put a picture of when they started and where they are now, and the only thing that's different about them is facial hair. That's they don't look any older than what they did 20 years ago. Just insane. So it's a great story to know. And they started out the season 2-0. Like, it was a big surprise. Everyone thought this was going to be the down year for them because, again, these guys are getting older. They're bringing up a lot of these players. Yeah, so to see them have kind of a little bit of pep in their step still and have a shot at doing something. I mean, it's a young season so far. It's just been the first week. And then, of course, we got brought back down to earth with the Rangers when they came into the PPG Arena and they just destroyed them 6-1. I mean, that was what we expected to see in New York. So it was a little inevitable. It was a prolonged thing, but yeah, it eventually happened. So now they're currently 2-1 on the season. I mean, nothing to be totally disappointed about. Everyone, again, thought this was going to be a down year for them. Hey, this is a great start. I mean, still got 79 games left or so, but let's go into the final period, I'll call this, to go into the current roster look. Let's see here, bring this screen up. Yeah, you've got here all your centers. Let's see, you got Noel Akira. I don't want to say that name wrong. I know I'm butchering that last name, but 33 years old. I mean, not too bad. Crosby, of course, the legend, 38. Again, Connor Dewar, yes, 26. He's a younger guy. Philippe Hollander, 25. Very young, right in the prime of your career. Ben Kendall must be a rookie, 18, obviously. Blake Lizotte. I think that's how you say him, Blake Lizotte. Wow, he's short. Wow, that is a really short guy for hockey. Oh, my goodness. You know what? That's going to come in handy if he ever has to get around some defenders. And, of course, Evgeny, 6'5". I did not know he was that tall. Man, that is a huge dude. Man, I'm more impressed than I ever have been now. Tommy Novak, 28, and Philip Tomasino? Philip Tomasino, I'm going to say that. 24, 6 foot. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, again, do I know virtually more than 3 names on this list? No, I don't. Again, I know that I love my Penguins, and I know the names that I have followed, but I don't know the rosters completely. Like, this is like an eye-opener for the first time in the 16 years that I have followed the Penguins that I'm actually looking at the depth of the roster. Like, I never realized there was this many centers on this team. And then you have the right wings where you have Justin Brezu. I mean, he's had a fantastic start. 6'6". Dang, that's a freaking monster. 227. Great, right in the prime of his career, too. Kevin Hayes, 33, 6'5". Wow, there's a lot of tall guys on our team. Anthony Mantha? Anthea? Anthony, 31 years old. Rickard Raquel. Yep. And, of course, Brian Rust. Yes, I've known that name for quite some time. Yeah, I mean, pretty decent start. This guy, of course, has had some great numbers so far. Very much impressed what I'm seeing. Harrison Brunecki. I mean, that was so cool. Again, I had a really great story. Again, I look over here on his birthday. I said to someone, this is when you know you're getting old. Like I just said, I'm officially old because that date, the day he was born, was a month before my high school graduation. I mean, when you see a professional player in the in professional sports now, and you see that they are the age they are now, if you look back and you say something like that, you know you're getting old. That's what you're official. You are an old person. Connor Clifton, I mean, he's 30 years old. Fantastic. Matt Dumba, 31 years old. Caleb Jones, 28. Yep. Eric Carlson, I have my mixed feelings. He's not the worst, but he sometimes just, Chris Letang, you know, I think a lot of people said, I have a lot of coworkers that are Penguins fans, and a lot of people say he should have been let go a long time ago, but I think they were doing what they were doing, keeping him around. I mean, again, we know what he has brought throughout his career, so it's like until he's ready to hang it up, I think that's his right to stay around. So that's how I feel about it. Ryan Shea, 28. Parker Wotherspoon, 28. Yep. And then you've got Tristan Jarry and Arthur Silva. So, like, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, it was really, really cool to see that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, knowing that this roster is very unique when you see all the ages, like, you know, there's 33, 38, 18, 27, 24, 33, 21, 19, 38, 28. I mean, we've got our fair share of old guys, and we've got a handful of new ones. I mean, it's definitely going to be an interesting roster for the rest of the season, guys. But I really don't have much more to say about it, guys. I very much appreciate Mark for letting me do another episode of the Pittsburgh Sports. I love knowing that I've got all three of them now. It was nice doing the start with the Steelers and the Pirates because, again, I grew up on them. I didn't start watching Penguins until 2009. And, hey, for the 16 years, I've seen 3 Stanley Cups. I've seen like 10 or 12 playoff appearances. So how could you possibly say that this team has not seen its fair share of success? It's nice to know that 2/3, you know, the other team of this city that know how to have success. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to the season, guys, and I will be back tomorrow to do an episode with my weekly picks, and it's going to be the Steelers and the Penguins once again. So until then, guys, you have yourselves a good one, and let's go Pens.